All right, let's talk about device management. You've got laptops, phones, maybe some tablets. It can feel like you're trying to spin a dozen plates at once, right? Well, today we're going to dive into how you can bring some serious order to that chaos. We're talking about overseeing device profiles in Intune to make sure every single device is secure, compliant, and just working the way it's supposed to.
It really doesn't matter if you're managing 10 devices or 10,000. The challenge is exactly the same. You've got to make sure every single one is compliant and configured just right. And let's be honest, it's a seriously high-stakes game. Just one wrong setting and boom, you've created a security hole you didn't even know was there. So how do we actually get a handle on all this?
Well, it all starts with laying down the law, right? You need a solid foundation, a consistent set of rules that every single device has to follow. No exceptions. And in the world of Microsoft Intune, that foundation is built with something called policies. The best way to think about them, they're basically the digital rulebook for your entire company. So what even is an Intune policy? At the end of the day, it's really just a group of settings that you, the admin, get to define. But here's the key. These are not suggestions. No way. These settings actively control features and enforce security standards on every device that's enrolled. It's an incredibly powerful tool for making sure everything is consistent and under your control.
Okay, so not all policies are the same. They're broken down into a few key categories. And while, yeah, they're all important, let's be real. The one you're probably going to be spending most of your time in is configuration policies. This is your bread and butter. It's where you handle the bulk of your security settings and device features. Think of it as your main tool for both locking things down and shaping the user experience.
All right, so you've built your digital rulebook. Awesome, but what happens when you need to push out a new rule, like right now? I mean, if there's a security issue, waiting around just isn't an option. This is where taking real-time, immediate control becomes absolutely critical. So here's how it's supposed to work. You deploy a policy, and Intune sends out a little notification to the device, telling it to check in. Usually happens within about 5 minutes. But we all know we don't live in a perfect world. What if someone's laptop is shut or their phone has no signal? That little notification just vanishes into the ether, and your super important update is just sitting there, waiting. And this table right here really drives the point home. If a device misses that first ping, it just falls back to its normal, scheduled check-in. And look at those times. You could be waiting 6, even 8 hours for a critical security patch to get applied. For an urgent problem, 8 hours is an absolute eternity. And this is exactly where the manual sync feature becomes your new best friend. Seriously. Instead of just sitting around and waiting, you can force the device to check in right on command. This gives you the power to immediately see if a new policy is working or to push out that urgent fix without delay. It completely takes all the waiting and the guesswork out of the picture. And the best part? It's ridiculously simple to do. You literally just go into the Intune Admin Center, find the device you want, click Sync, and hit Yes to confirm. That's it. Within moments, you can check the status and get that peace of mind knowing your update has landed. It is such a simple action, but it has a massive impact on how fast you can respond to things. Okay, so policies are amazing for all the standard stuff, but what about the weird stuff? Those complex configurations, the annoying legacy apps that won't cooperate, or those really custom tasks. For that, you've got to go beyond the basic rulebook. For that, you need a superpower. And that superpower comes in the form of the Intune Management Extension. Think of this as the engine under the hood that lets you run powerful PowerShell scripts on your Windows devices and shell scripts on your Macs. This is what extends your control way, way beyond what standard policies can do.
So what does that actually mean for you day to day? Well, it means you can finally tackle that one tricky legacy Win32 app that just refuses to play nice with modern deployment tools. We've all got one of those, right? It means you can tweak a specific registry key that you can't even touch with a normal policy. You can automate these complex multi-step jobs that you used to have to do by hand. The possibilities here are absolutely huge.
Now, as you can see here, there are some key differences between scripting on Windows and Mac OS, and it kind of shows the philosophy of each OS. On the Windows side with PowerShell, you get that really critical choice. Do you run the script as the person who's logged in, or with all the power of the system context? That's huge. But then look at macOS. It gives you some amazing operational flexibility right out of the box. You can configure how often a script runs and even tell it to retry if it fails.
That is perfect for things like maintenance scripts that need to run over and over, or for when you're dealing with a flaky network connection where you know things might not work on the first try.
All right. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's take a second, pull it all together, and recap this powerful admin toolkit you've got. Because with these tools, you are absolutely in command of your digital fleet.
Just remember these 3 things. First, you've got your policies. That's your rulebook for every device. Second, you have manual sync. That's your express lane for when you need updates now. And third, you have scripts. That's your superpower for all the custom stuff policies can't touch.
So what does this all add up to? It means your whole job can shift. You can stop just reacting to fires all day. With this toolkit, you can get ahead of the game. You are proactively shaping, securing, and controlling your entire device environment, and you're doing it with total precision. So we've gone over the incredible power you have right at your fingertips, from setting the basic rules to running custom scripts. I'm going to leave you with a final thought, a question to chew on. Think about it. What's that one annoying manual task or that one tricky configuration that's been bugging you forever? What's the very first problem you're going to solve with a script?